This is the Most High Yahweh, Barsham Yahushai, Shalom, Shalom. It's Brother Kapash, WFI London, WFI Europe. We're willing everyone is well. Right, just a quick cold cut on the point of performing your oaths. Right, on performing your oaths and saying what you mean. Right, this is Matthew 5, and I'll start from verse number 33. It says, "Again ye have heard that it have been said by them of old time," and that's referring to the Israelites. Showing it is another point showing that when Christ is talking in Matthew 5, the heathen aren't going to know, oh yeah, that you've heard by them of old time, right? The ancient Moabites, they knew, right? It's talking about Israel. Thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths, right? Because when you make an oath, right, and I got that up here, the word for oath literally means, it says judicial swearing, right? Because this is not Christianity where you're saying, oh, the F word and this, and you're saying that. That's not what it means when it's saying about swearing. It's talking about performing the oath. If you swear by the Most High's name to be at the Sabbath or at camp, right? That's literally you swearing. You're performing an oath, right? I swear by the Lord, I will so and so, so and so, right? Solemn appeal. So see how it says to deity, sacred relics, etc. So we don't deal with sacred relics. We just deal with the Most High, Ba'ashem Yahushai. It says in witness of truth or a promise, right? Or it says further down an oath, right? Just a solemn appeal, so a judicial swearing. Just like in court, they'll say, oh, they'll make you put your hand on the Bible and you swear by this so and so and so and so. So that's what an oath is. So when it says about, you should perform thine oaths, what that is really quoting is Leviticus 19, right, and 12 as well. It says, Leviticus 19 and 12, it reads, "And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord." So, you don't swear by the Most High and say, oh, well, I'm going to be there, right? Yeah, I'm going to be there. Oh, yeah, I'm there. And then you're not there, right? You say, are you using the Most High? You're invoking the name of the Most High. You say, yeah, I'm going to be there in the name of the Most High, right? You're swearing falsely. You're not performing, the oath or the word that you've actually said, man. Right? So reading on in Matthew 5 and 34, it says, "But I say unto you, swear not at all." See that? "Neither by heaven, for it is God's throne." So don't say nothing. Right? Like I think they say there's a term, something along the lines of saying less and overperforming. Because if you say less, then they're not gonna expect like something amazing. Just, okay, I'll make sure I get it done. You say I'm going to do the best ever, and you give something that's terrible. So it says, Christ is saying, I don't even give that oath, man. Some people, they have, they take Nazarite vows, right? They take a vow, and that's why it says about be careful to not take vows, because now you can't go to your family's funeral, like with the Nazarite vow. You can't drink strong drink. Right, everyone's turning up in righteousness, and you're drinking water. And there's nothing wrong with that, but don't be enticed, because you would break that oath by going and drinking so and so. Right? It says, but don't swear at all. You know what I'm saying? Right? It says, "Neither by heaven, for it is God's throne." Now you can say, yeah, on heaven. That's how people, they say, on God, right? On God, right? On BD, right? On my mom's life, right? Now, even other nations, they say, oh, wallahi, right? Say wallahi, say Qassam, say wallah, right? These nations, they'll say stuff like that, right? So it says, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne. Now you're saying on the throne of God. Do you know how that just sounds mad? That's just madness. On God's throne, right? Reading on, it says, "Nor by earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great king." And they say, you're saying on Jerusalem. And that's Jakes, they say on BD, right? On gang. right? They're saying, swearing on all these things, and they're lying through their teeth, right? Right, on the earth. I put this on the earth. It says, verse 36, neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black. So don't even worry about maybe I'll don't swear about yourself either, man. Right, let's just put it like that. It says neither verse 37. Matthew 5:37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Meaning what, man? If now you're saying, just say yes or no, because yes or no really eliminates any other folly that can come from that, man. Someone say, oh, did you sleep with this brother's wife? Now you're trying to you have to think about it, right? Because the judgment needs to be given. You're saying, maybe scratching your head, now you don't know, man, but you know what color socks you put on this morning, right? So it says, let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than these cometh of evil. Now you're going and foolish questions are being put forth, man, right? Let me go to that. There's a precept on that in a book of right. See that? What's that precept? Salakia. Right. Right. There's a precept. See that? There we go. See that? It's that 1 Timothy 1:4. It says, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogy, which minister questions, rather than godly edifying, which is in faith, so do. So now, there's loads of questions coming up, man. You're not even answering directly. You're saying, I think this. It's yes or no, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to put the yes or no. We don't want to have just questions on questions, man. Right? But going back to it, man. Let's get this precept as well. Right? Deuteronomy. Right, I had a precept. Let's get the book of James. Right, James chapter 3. Right, the classic. James chapter 3. That's the book of James chapter 3. And I'll start at verse number 6. It says, and the tongue is a fire. James 3:6. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and it is set on fire of hell. Because your tongue, you're not performing that oath. You've just, I don't know, the whole camp has been overrun. The whole congregation just been destroyed. The nation's been destroyed. Right? So your word and the oath that you don't perform, that can just lead to destruction. So let's go to another precept in the book of James chapter 5, and I'll start from verse number 12. It says, but above all things, my brethren, swear not neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. So don't try and do too much, man. Now you're saying, nah. You're not even saying nah, because that would be a nay. But you're just trying to find loopholes around giving a direct answer. Right? Just saying, nah, I don't know. Right? You know, brother. Right? Or you know, sister. Right? So, let's get another one. Right? It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 23. I'm going to have to jump down a bit. Deuteronomy 23 and 21. It reads, Deuteronomy 23 and verse 21. It says, when thou vowest a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it. So when you said, okay, yeah, I'm going to be at the Sabbath, or I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. That's why it's better to not say anything, man. Because if you don't say anything, then there's no pressure on you. Right? This is Sirach 5:12. It says, if thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Honor and shame is in talk. The tongue of man is his fool. So what you say, that could be your demise. So it's probably better. You maybe shouldn't have said anything. That would have been better for you. Right? So going back to Deuteronomy 23 and 21. When thou vowest a vow unto the Lord thy God, thou shalt not slack to pay it. So make sure you pay that vow. You said you was going to be there, brother. You said you was going to do this for the congregation. You said you was going to so-and-so. You said you was going to, and then you're not paying it. Forget about paying your bills, right? Which, again, you should do. But your word is more important, because, actions are weighed, man. You said you're going to do something, you don't do it. Hey, those actions, they're weighed, right? It says, for the Lord thy God will surely require it of thee, and it would be sin in thee. So that would be a sin. They say, I'm going to do it because you're lying. Now you're lying, right? Leviticus 19, verse 11. It says, you see that? Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. And we're man, right? Man's gonna, that's why it's always good. If you can't do something, just, I can't do that, man. Right? Be honest. Have integrity to say, no, I can't do that. Right? And obviously in verse 12, it says, and ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. So, again, we don't need to do that. Make sure you pay your vows. Right? Make sure you stand on what you say. Right? This is Deuteronomy 23 and verse 12. But if thou shalt forbear to vow, it shall be no sin unto thee. So, hey, if you don't make the vow, you're good. That's fine. It ain't no sin, man. Right? It ain't no sin. Right? I'll read on. It says, verse 23, that which is gone out of thy lips, thou shalt keep and perform. That's a commandment. So if you say, yeah, I'm gonna turn up, man, I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, right? That vow, you're making a vow, right? It says, even a free will offering, according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God, which thou hast promised with thy mouth. So you promised that, brother. Yeah, king, I got you. Right? But deep down, that's why it's better to keep your finger on your lips, man. Don't say nothing. Right? Lord willing. Right? That's what we got to start saying, man. Right? If it be the Lord's will, man. Right? That's Hebrews. Right? I want to say 6 and 4. Or 3. This is Hebrews 6 and 3. And this will we do if God permit. Right? If Yahweh permits. Yeah. You say Lord willing. People say Lord willing. Right? Yahweh willing. Right? People say Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? If Yahweh permits. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's what we should be saying. Right? You don't want to promise something you can't keep. Right? It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, and I'll start at verse 2. It says, be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before Yahweh. For Yahweh is in heaven, and thou upon earth, therefore let thy words be few. So you want to kind of mind what you're saying, right? Be careful, right? Don't want to, you just turn it into a mumble rapper, man. You're saying everything, right? Right? So you want to not be hasty with your mouth, right? And that's a learning process that everyone is doing, right? It says, for a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by multitude of words, right? Because a fool's voice, they're gonna know this guy. He's just a liar. You have people in the world, yeah, that guy, he just says stuff and he doesn't do it, man. He's just a liar, man. He's known for that. Verse 4, when thou vowest a vow unto Yahweh, defer not to pay it, for he have no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. So, hey, pay that man. Pay that man what you said you would do. Pay that sister what you said you would do. Right? Reading on, it says, better it is that thou, better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. So, it's better that you kept your mouth shut. Right? It's better that you kept your mouth shut rather than, yeah, I'm going to do this. You don't do it, man. I'm going to score 50 points today. Watch. Right? You didn't do it. Now you look like an idiot. You look like a fool. Right? Reading on, it says, verse 6, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. That's why it says in James 3, it tells you about how the tongue is just a lethal weapon. Right? The tongue can cause, it can get you confounded, man. Right? It can get you confounded. It can cause countries to go to war. Soldiers to detonate nukes, to do this, to do that, and they're twisting the buttons and the nukes are going off. Right? This is Job 5 and verse number 21. It says, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. So the scourge of the tongue is being put to death for the words that you say. Right? So you have to be very wary of what it is you say, man. Right? But let's go back to Ecclesiastes 5 and 6. It says, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. They say, they're saying to Gabriel, Salakia. It was an error. Right? Wherefore should Yahweh be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thine hands? See that? So, be careful with the vow or the oath that you're making, right? And we know about the vow in Numbers 6, right? So, that's why be careful with making a vow. Some brothers, they do that, but they've made a conscious decision saying, yeah, I'm happy to do this. And you got to stick by that oath, right? This example of a vow. This is Numbers 6 and 2. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazirite to separate themselves unto the Lord. Right? So it tells you about the certain things they could and couldn't do. Right? And then at the end of his vow, he would cut his hair. Right? So, I'll jump to a precept in Acts 18, I believe it is. Right? Because Paul, he had a vow. Right? And he came and he fulfilled his vow. Right? This is Acts 18 and 18. Right? It reads, and Paul after this tarried there yet a good while, and then took his leave of the brethren, and sailed thence to Syria, and sailed thence into Syria, with him Priscilla and Aquila, having shorn his head in Centuria, for he had a vow. See that? So Paul, he had a Nazirite vow. And you can even read about that, I believe, in Acts 21, I believe it is. Right? This is Acts 21. And I'll start from verse 23. It says, do therefore this, that we say to thee, we are 4 men which have a vow on them. Them take and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but thou thyself walkest orderly and keepest the law. So that again was a vow, and a vow, they were serious, man. Right? Vows were serious, right? Because that's what they used that on Yahushua, right? And Yahushua had to do that, right? He had to answer that question at that time because the chief priest, right? The high priest, he said, and he invoked, the name of the Most High, right? So he said, I bid thee, right? So he used the name of the Most High to, make Yahushua answer. And Yahushua, if he didn't answer, that'd be breaking the commandments, because it says about, in Exodus 22, I believe, thou shalt not revile the gods, right? Let me just pull that up as well. Right, it's the book of Exodus 22, and I'll start at verse 28. It says, thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the rulers of thy people, right? Of thy people, Salakia. So you shouldn't revile the gods. And that's what was done in the book of Matthew 26, right? It's Matthew 26, and I'll start at verse 63. It says, but Yahushua held his peace, and the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Mashiach, the son of Yahweh. So Yahweh, remember it says Yahushua said unto him, so Yahushua answered, right? So he invoked the name of the Most High, right? Making Yahushua answer, right, as he was the high priest, right? But all praises to the Most High. That's just a quick breakdown regarding your oath, what you say, right? And making sure we keep our oath and what we say, man, right? And maintaining that integrity. But hey, all praise to the Most High Yahweh Shai, right? Let's see if I get a quick point on what oath is, right? So this is what it says in regarding, right, oaths. It says, oath is a judicial swearing or solemn appeal, right? Or it says, in witness of truth or promise. So it's like saying you're going to do something, you got to do it, right? And I get one more actually, right? This is Joshua 24, and I'll start at verse maybe 23. Yeah, 24, I think it is. All right, it's the book of Joshua, chapter 24, and I want to say, all right, yeah, Joshua 24 and verse 21, and I'll start from 19. It's Joshua 24 and verse 19, and Joshua said unto the people, ye cannot serve the Lord, for he is an holy God. He is a jealous God. He will not forgive your transgressions nor your sins. If ye forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you after that he have done you good. Right, with none. And the people said unto Joshua, nay, but we will serve the Lord. So this is what the people said. They made an oath saying, no, we're going to serve the Lord. And Joshua said unto the people, ye are a witness against yourselves that ye have chosen you the Lord to serve him. And they said, we are a witness. So that's that oath that they made. They made an oath to serve the Most High. That's what an oath is, a solemn swearing, a judicial swearing, just like they would make you swear on the Bible or whatever, right? They put your hand on and say, I swear, but I do solemnly swear. That's what they would do, right? So that's what that is, man. So come on, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, right? Lord willing, that was edifying, right? Can't, Shalom.